Hey, what's up my audience? Today I'm going to show you how to fillet a catfish. This is the way I fillet it. It's not right or wrong, it's just uh, my own way. So first of all I'm going to show you this fish I caught a couple days ago. So first of all when we go fishing we um, cut off the spine of the fish, and here's a trick to keep the meat white when you bring it home and fillet it and eat. Is when we catch the fish, we uh, we cut the gill, we bleed the fish, we cut the gill so that the fish, uh, you know, all the blood got bled out, so that when you go home and fillet it, the meat will be white and it doesn't taste fishy. So those are two things that you should do when you go catfishing. You cut the spine and you bleed the fish, cut the gill, so that all the blood, come out. Okay, so when I fillet the fish, I tend to fillet the right side first, because when you fillet a fish, it's harder to fillet the right side than the left side. So I start out with the right side and then I flip over, I fillet the left side. And another thing is you need to have a good filleting knife. You need to have a knife that got really sharp tip to score the skin and to fillet. Most of the time I use the tip of the knife. So you need to sharpen the knife really sharp before you fillet a fish. How I sharpen the knife. I don't go up like this. I don't sharpen the knife like this. I sharpen the knife down. The reason for doing this is that when the knife goes down, the tip will hit the knife sharpener. So when you do this, the tip will be sharp. When you do this, the tip won't be sharp. So you go down and then you go down. See, you go like this. So that way your knife is sharp, really sharp. Then you clean the knife. Okay? So when you fillet a fish, like I said, you start out with the right side. What you want to do is you want to use the whole length of the knife, not just the tip, okay? So you cut in the fish. Use the whole piece, use the whole knife, not just the tip. Cut it in, and then you have to feel the bone with the knife. You have to feel the bone with the knife. Go in, you're gonna have to feel the bone. When you feel, the sound that the knife hit the bone, it go. That's how you get to the bone of the fish. So you cut it in, and then you feel the bone. Same thing here. You're gonna cut it. When you cut it, you don't cut straight on the back of the fish. You're gonna kind of tilt the knife out a little bit, and then you're gonna feel the bone. You're gonna feel the bone. You see how sharp the knife is? So you cut it, you're gonna have to feel the bone. You hear that? Okay. You hear that? That's when you cut into between the bone and the meat. I'm doing slow because I'm showing you guys, but normally I fillet the fish really fast. So when you cut that, you use your thumb, you lift it, and then you score it, but don't make a small cut, because when you keep making a small cut, the meat will be, the meat will be really rough. So when you get to here, you press down the knife. You use, this is how I know how I hold the knife. You press down the knife on the bone, and then you score it as far in as you can. You see, and you follow the bone so that you don't waste the meat. And then you go as far as you can. You use the tip to, hit that bone, and then you use the length of the knife to cut the meat. Okay? So when you get to here, you will hit, this is how the fish bone is. When you get to here, you get to the rib. So you can't go any further. Okay? So a lot of people cut through the rib, and then they will cut the rib later, but this is how I do it. You see this line right here? This is where I stop my fillet. This line right here, you can see this line right here. This is where the rib, you need to stop right there. So when I score the meat to there, I stop, and then I work on the back of the fish first. See, I get all the way to here, then I hope you guys can see it. Then I poke the knife through the fish, go back all the way through. See? Get to there, and you flip around. Then you flip around. Use the knife, you press it down, cut it. Just follow where the meat of the fish is. Cut it to there. Okay, so when you get to the bottom of the fish, stop right there. Okay? And then you tilt the knife up, and then you see this line of the rib line right here. You don't cut it through. You're gonna use the knife, bring it out like this. Push the knife down, bring it out. You're gonna feel that when you hit the rib. So when you get to there, like that, you see? Go down, you go out. Cut it out. See, when you get to here, see, that's a chunk of meat. And like I told you that we bled the fish, when we caught the fish, you see how white the meat is? We bled the fish. All the blood came out. So you see how white the piece of meat is? You need to bleed the fish when you catch them. Otherwise, the meat will be very, it's got blood, held up in the meat, and the meat will taste really fishy. See, the meat is just white, no blood. Then I'm gonna try one more time on the other side. Okay, now when you get to the left side, it's easier. When you get to the left side, it's easier. Get to the left side, you lead the fish like this. And again, you hold the knife with your thumb, with your index finger, press it down. You need to find the bone first. If you're not familiar with cleaning the fish, you're gonna have to press it down and find the bone. I clean the fish all the time, so I know exactly where all the fish bones are. So first of all, you have to score it. You have to cut in the skin, and then you start using the tip to find the bone. Once you find the bone, you start, going down. So like I told you, don't cut in the middle of the fish because that's when you can't find the bone. You have to cut it in as an angle. You're gonna have to leave a little gap here. You're gonna cut it in, leave a little gap here. When you cut in like this, you use the tip of the knife finding the bone. And once you find the bone, you follow the bone. Okay? You're gonna follow the bone. Use your hand, press it down, and watch out, be safe. Don't cut yourself. If you have a really sharp knife, you're gonna cut yourself easily if you're not careful enough. So once you find the bone, you keep follow the line of the bone and cut it down. Cut it down, you see? Down to here. Your knife needs to tilt down a little bit to follow that bone line. See, when you get to there, when you get to there, you hit the bone of the fish. You can't go any further. Okay? So you need to go from here. You press the tip down so that you don't cut into the meat. You only, go between the bone and the meat. See, when you get to this fin right here, you're gonna poke it through. Poke it through, and then you slowly cut it out like this, okay? You get to here, like I said earlier, this rib right here. I'm gonna cut it down to where the bottom of the fish is. Then you cut it out like this. You don't cut it through, because once you cut it through, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be more work. You get to there, it's gonna take some practice to kind of know where the ribs are. So when you get to there, you just cut it out like this. And be careful, don't cut yourself, okay? Go down, go out. Go down, go out. And then you cut it here. And you got a piece of fillet. I'll show you how to fillet this side in a little bit. You see, there is not much blood inside the fish anymore. And you think that I waste a lot of meat on the fish, but not in the reality. It is not. I really took out all the meat out of the fish. We don't eat the stomach. It smells bad, and the head, we don't eat the head. So we took out 2 pieces of fillet. We got rid of this. And now comes to the fillet. Put this down. Cut it down like this. And you use the length of the knife to fillet it. Don't do this, okay? Don't do this. So you use the whole length. You swipe it back and forth. Press the knife down to the cutting board at a flat angle. And then you do that. You pull the skin. You pull the skin and let the knife just cut through the skin. That's all it is. 1 piece of fillet, nice and clean. One more time, okay? Make a long cut, and then you pull the skin of the fish. Just pull the skin of the fish slowly, and the meat just separate. from the skin. Nice and clean piece of fillet. Okay? And when the next step is you need to remove this line of the bloodline, the fish bloodline right here. It tastes very it tastes very fishy right here. So you're gonna have to cut right here. Down. That's a clean piece of fillet. Right here, you're gonna have to remove this piece right here. This piece right here. That is what makes a piece of fillet fishy. So remove this, throw it away. So that's it, guys. That's how I fillet the fish, and I will make another video on how to cook the fish. So thanks for watching. And now I'm gonna show you how to prepare and cook the catfish that I just cleaned. I'm gonna do some fried catfish today, okay? So this is only one piece of the catfish that I cleaned earlier. I'm so hungry. I need to hurry up and prepare for my food. I'm just starving. Okay. So as you can see that I left this piece of fillet catfish on this is to keep it dry. So you want the fish, the fillet, to be dry in order to make good fried catfish. You see all this red stuff on the fish? This are all blood. So we need to remove some of it. And as I told you earlier, that we need to remove this lateral line right here. This is where it creates this fishy, taste to your food. So I'm gonna cut it in half. I'm going to remove Yep. You want to take this out. It doesn't taste good. And then you want to remove some of this blood on the fish. I mean, you don't have to take everything out. You just slightly kind of skim it. The less blood on the fish that you leave it on the fish, the better it tastes. So this is catfish. This is really the meat is really tough. Yep. I like to remove this. This is all blood, so it can create some fishy taste to it. Okay, Now, I want to cut this into a thin strip like this. You don't want to cut it too too thin of a piece of fish, because when you fry it, it will dry. It will be really dry. So you want to cut a piece that got some, get some fish in there. So when you dip it in the flour, it will still be tender. Looks like sushi, eh? I love sushi. Okay, put this over here. Okay, I'm done with the fish. So there are two types of flour that you can use with fillet catfish. One way is to use regular flour mixing with some cornstarch. The ratio is 2 to 1, like 2 cup of this, 1 cup of cornstarch, or I use that sometime, but today I want to show you guys this type of flour. This flour is called prepared flour, and I got this at the Asian supermarket. I'm going to show you guys. So this type of flour we use to make Asian like pancake, and so I'm going to use this for today. So I have some left over here. This type of prepared flour is very cool. That the way they pre-mix the flour, that it makes the flour very crispy when we deep fry the fish. So that's why I like to use this. It's very easy to use, and it's very inexpensive. It's only 99 cents for this much, and you can use them for several batches. Sometimes I like to use the breadcrumbs, but I don't want to use the breadcrumbs today, so I'm going to just use this prepared flour. So I'm going to put some water in here. I used cold water. Don't put too much water in there. It just put enough to create a good mix for it. So don't put too much water in there. Just slowly. You want a mix that's not too thick nor too thin. So just put it in slowly. You don't want to make it too thick, because if it's too thick, the fried fish will be very dry. But if you make it too thin, then it's not crispy. Just a little more water. I think that's good. And then I'm gonna put some salt, a little pepper in there. Okay, I'm gonna put some salt in there. Just a pinch of salt and just a little pepper. Okay. Just put some salt and pepper, not too much. Okay, now I'm gonna put all the fish into the flour. Like I said, you need to keep the fish dry. If not, when you deep fry it, it's gonna explode. It's gonna splash all over the place, or it won't make the fish crispy. Keep it dry. Okay, we're gonna put everything in here, and then we're gonna mix them up. See, when I use the prepared flour, I don't use egg with the flour because the prepared flour is really good. I mean, they do something with the flour that it just makes the deep fried fish really crispy. See, that's it. Now I am gonna, turn the stove up, and I'm gonna deep fry it. Okay, I turned the stove on, and I'm gonna put some oil. Into the pot. I am using canola oil. I'm put it on high for now. I'm gonna wait until the oil is hot, then I'm gonna turn it down a little bit because you don't want the heat to be too high that the fish, the flour gonna turn brown too fast, but the fish won't get cooked. But if you turn the heat too low, then it's gonna sit there forever. So let's just wait for a few minutes until the oil is hot. I see bubbles. Okay, we're ready. We are going to turn the heat down a little bit. The trick is you don't want to fry everything all together at once. So you want to fry just enough so that the fillet will get cooked correctly. You don't want to dump a whole bunch of them in there, and then the oil will lose its heat and it won't cook correctly. So just fry some at a time. So you want to keep turning it regularly so that the fish can turn brown evenly. You don't want to just leave it there for so long and one side will be so dark and the other side is just not dark enough. Well, I guess it's fine, but you know, I think it looks better if both sides get cooked evenly. You see, this flour, this prepared flour will give you a very crispy fillet fish, guaranteed. I don't know what's in the mix, but it's just so crispy, and it will stay crispy for a long time. It will stay crispy until tomorrow, even you put them in the refrigerator. Okay guys, I'm going to continue with the rest of them, and I'm going to show you guys the final product of this. You see how golden it is, how beautiful it is. Looking good, eh? Okay, I'm going to finish the rest of them. I'm going to show you the final product later. Well, you guys, here it is. Final product. Golden fried catfish. I'm going to give it a try. I'm very hungry. Very crispy. The fish doesn't taste fishy or anything. It's fresh. So it's really yummy. So I catch my fish, I prepare my fish, I clean my fish, I cook my fish, and I eat my fish. So I'm self-sustained. Well, that's all I have for you guys for today. Hopefully I can make more cooking video for you guys to watch in the future, if you guys like it. So until then, peace.